Hello everyone, I'm CZ Lumen and this is StarCraft 2. What I have for you here is a Master League fight between a Terran and a Zerg player. I do know who wins this match, and according to the replay information, there should be a pretty good diversity of units. Get to see Ultralisks later on in the game. I'm really excited about that. We have a little bit of nice talk here. Good luck, have fun. Always like to see that. It's good sportsmanship between the two players. Terran in the upper right hand corner with Zerg in the bottom left. And from here on out, when I call out a comparison number, such as workers, 15 workers to 14, the first number is going to represent the Terran player, with the second number represent the Zerg. Now the Zerg here opts for a spawning pool instead of a second hatchery, which is a little irregular. I'm used to seeing the hatchery come up and then the spawning pool. It's like a 14 hatchery, then spawning pool, and then gas, but I'm not sure what's going on here. This might be interesting. Oh, okay. For a second I was thinking, is this going to be like a one base all in? What's the story here? But nope, we have another Overlord pop out, and we're going to see Zergling. Oh, Zerglings come out. That's pretty gnarly. Second hatchery is up for the Zerg player, and a barracks is up for the Terran with an SCV scout. Looks like this is going to be some early aggression, as Zerglings are running across the map as fast as they can, just hippity hopping, and here they go. Look at them running fast. Their little legs can let them skip. They remind me of rabbits. Like the way they run, they remind me of very aggressive rabbits. So Monty Python was definitely onto something when there was that concern. Reaper does come out just in time for the Zerg player, or for the Zerglings to actually hit the base. And it looks like they're going to do just a little bit of damage here. I'm trying to zoom in. Okay, here we go. Keeping the Reaper at the Terran base. And this is going to be a little bit of a micro fight between the two players. It looks like the Reaper scouting out where the Zerglings are. But if those Zerglings can get a good surround, that's going to be lights out for that Reaper. But Reaper's doing a fantastic job just spreading out that damage. Well, he's trying to knock one of them out, but the Zerg player is just doing a phenomenal micromanagement game here. Here, we're gonna watch this. I think I'm watching the Zerg player, right? Because does he's lost 2 Zerglings, but imagine, yeah, you're just sitting there and you're just micromanaging these Zerglings to try to make sure you don't lose any, because you don't really know if these are going to come in handy later, especially once Speedling comes into play here. We might lose one. Okay, we did lose one. This Reaper, that shooting and scooting is just a little unfair in my opinion, but once the Speedling upgrade comes out, definitely gives the Reaper more a little bit of run for the money. And I believe, and the balancing is that on creep the Zerg are a lot faster, so if the Reaper was on creep, you'd definitely be having problems trying to shoot and scoot the Zerglings. But see, you can see them they're just a little bit faster. I can't remember what the exact number is. I think it's like 30% faster. And then if wow, it looks like the Speedling upgrade isn't coming up, so just a little bit of harassment here was being done. And we do have a command center, or a second command center, that's already upgraded to the orbital command. You definitely want to upgrade that orbital command as fast as possible to get those to start working on the energy system. Do have a little bit of a swap here, so I'm going to guess this is going to be double Medivacs. Yeah. Oh no, double Vikings is the name of the game here. This is definitely going to be kind of interesting. I feel like that sentence just doesn't work, right? Like, it's definitely, so that's like a positive, kind of like some, yeah. Anyway, so definitely interesting is more. But we do have. So I heard what is this? What's going on here? Okay, we have a Bangling that's going to act as to help out with the wall off, which is, I mean, that's interesting. Like, I'll go with that. I think I'm trying to think of the player, but somebody was, I think Loco was actually mentioning one of the top Zerg players has like 3 different key bindings for 3 different sets of queens. One group is for injection, another group is for the left side of the map, and the other group is for the right side of the map. And it's just like the amount of micro actions required for the Zerg player is insane. Like that's just all there is to it. Aside from like the creep management, moving creatures around with. Oh look, the speedling upgrade did actually. I call it speedlings, but in comparison with other. Oh, they landed. This just should be a pretty good battle breakdown. Hold on a second. We have Hellbats and Vikings. I don't know if these Hellbats, like switching over to this, they do get like this cone of attack versus a line of attack, and the transformation process these guys go through is absolutely weird, because now I think when they're transformed like this, they're considered biological. The Vikings are not considered biological, but when they're in car form, they're considered mechanical. The Vikings are always considered mechanical, so SCVs, yeah, it's a confusing mess, is what this is. We do have it looks like we do have submarines in here, so we're going to see this fight here take on what looks like okay, these are banglings, so a lot of zerglings, queens, and banglings. So let's see how this plays out. Did I slow the game down? Okay. I do play with the game a little bit slowed down, so this is going to take just a little bit longer than usual. A lot of queens here moving up to the front and really trying to take advantage of that little bit of a choke point, as well as it does give the Terrans something to shoot at aside from units that can fight back. So this is just going to act like just a big bullet sponge, which definitely looks like it's helping out quite a bit. You little Zerglings. Not looking good for the Terran player. I didn't expect this to really like do a whole lot of damage. See, that makes more sense to me. We got this one Viking. Viking like just pulls away, being like, "Oh wow, yeah, here we go." Yeah, these are actually having a hard time here. God, these marauders, man, take a beating. Yeah, the Viking was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna go back to flying and shoot overlords. I don't blame him. Viking heading down. Don't know if this is what you wanted, guys. Landing to try to. I gotta say, this is the most. This is the most effective I've actually seen Zerglings being played early game. I'm used to Zerglings being like this throwaway unit that really don't get a whole lot done, aside from run-bys and distractions and that sort of thing. But this is good. I really like this. This is a good little like fight. Go Zerg. Research burrow, and then I'm on the opinion that like if you burrow a Zerg unit, it should heal faster, like the roaches. But that's just me. Because they're useless, right? They can't move around, they can't do anything. They do heal at a very slow rate. You can see it right here, 13, 14. And it's slower than the Protoss shields. Shields regenerate, I think it's like 2 hit points per second or something when out of combat. Whereas Zerg, they regenerate a couple hit point, like I think a hit point every 2 seconds or something. So unless mutalisks and roaches are the oddball out, and the advantage is that the kind of design philosophy is that Zerg can go in, attack, and then run away. It kind of like lick their wounds and give them enough time, they come back, and there's that sort of thing. But Protoss are have that. Just the way the shields work, they can go in, attack, and then leave, and then they have a little bit like of a faster response. But for the most units, it's like half of its shields, half of its armor, and once their hit points actually starts going down, then they can't recover it. But Terran have the unique ability of being able to actually like repair all of their units can be fixed up and repaired as fast as you have minerals. So it's just kind of a neat thing. If I was going to like redesign StarCraft, I'd make it so like the starport is what repaired air units. Like you want to repair your factory units, you send them to a factory. It's like, so basically if you, barracks can like do medical stuff. So like these infrastructure like aren't just production, but they also act as like an AoE repair thing. But just a little tidbit. I don't know how, like I need to actually like set up and mod, get like some of my own maps and just like see what people think of it. But and I remember like engineering bays in StarCraft 1 could actually lift off, and they can't do that now, which is sad to me. I think that's a very sad thing. They have the little feet. You see the little feet? Look at them. Going back to the game, Zerg has really expanded a lot better than the Terran player. I'm going to speed up just a little bit, see if we can get to cut the chase and get to the excitement. I love the use of Vikings though. This is fantastic. I love these mechs. I don't know if anybody's like played Mech Warrior. I grew up off of like Mech Warrior 2. Love that game. Like the Mad Cat. It was just such a great game. But there's not a whole lot. I wonder if he sees this. There's not a lot of. I think there's like an online Mech Warrior game that's free to play, but like it is definitely pay to play or pay to win. And I've heard it's not very good. And there's a like you have to dump a lot of money into it, and even then the advertisements are just really bad. So if there's one way to like turn me off of the game, it's just constant advertisements. Like I'll pay you when I can. So a couple of Vikings over here getting ready to do, I guess, a land buy. Right, they can do a run by. They can come back, like fly over here, try to attack some of these overlords, and then leave, and then like land and attack the spore crawler. Really like the flexibility here of the Vikings. They're just fun. Let them go. It's just, I mean, sure. What are you gonna do? Guys might need to leave here soon. Oh, does he make it? Does he survive 1 hit point? Should have just kept going, buddy. 1 hit point. Like, you were free. You were free. And, all right. Well, anyway. Back to an army up here. We have a lot of zerglings that are about to do the run around. What the? Oh, okay, that was. Oh, Wood of Mine does. Looks like it knocked out a zergling, which, you know, that's fair enough. Wood of Mines are uncloaked unless the Terran army has an armory, which is just a little strange to me. So if you have an armory, these are cloaked to the enemy units. But if you're playing against the Terran, and you see a Wood of Mine and they burrow and you can still see it, that's because the Terran army does not have an armory, which is just... I don't know what the design philosophy is on that. Like, deciding is like, yeah, if you have the building, it's stealth. If you don't have the building, it's not stealth. Alright. Yeah, it looks like... Wait, that can't be right. Because they have an armory. Right here. Do you have to research that? That doesn't sound right at all. Hold on. Looking at this. Okay, so they are stealthed. Where's your detector? Oh, here it is. Here's an overseer. Alright, cool. That checks out. There's no cheating here. I just wanted to double check on that. We have a bunch of queens, lots of zerglings, some banglings are getting ready to come in, versus a pretty good army on this side here. Vikings, I believe, basically do double the amount of damage as a marine with the same firing rate, I do believe. So Vikings have that versatility, but they do a great deal more damage against I think it's armored units, but can't see right here because, you know, that's just how it is. God, that's so many zerglings and banglings. This is awesome. Look at that. Probably should have lifted up, but that's alright. I'm not sure what that very curious medevac wants to do, but that investigation did not pay off. Normally you don't want to charge in there with a medevac. That's not... I I mean, it's a good way to like make yourself a target and distract the opponent. But I don't know if that's the kind of distraction you're going for. Queens are a spellcasting unit. They have the ability to transfuse, which is down here, and heal one another, as well as spread a lot of these creep tumors. And these creep tumors basically help spread this the purple goo that you see on the map that I still believe probably tastes like bacon. I want to say it has like the texture of bacon, that you just rip it off the ground and eat it. That's why the Zerg are very happy. Like, they move faster when they're on creep. It's because they can just eat bacon whenever they want. So very nutritious, very delicious stuff. I don't think the Marines are like, it doesn't affect the Marines, but it would be kind of comical if they actually had a movement speed bonus if they went on creep. I would imagine that the creep texture though, because Zerg move faster on creep, so you would imagine like it would have to have some sort of ground to it, I believe. I think in StarCraft2 roads actually gave like a 10% speed increase or something with certain vehicles. We do have a split force moving up here with auxiliary forces in the back, which does help prevent getting surrounded completely. But this also means less firepower is being engaged at any given time. We have a pretty good army here, just doing a pretty good job just knocking this out. Pushing the Zerg out of this area, with Zerg actually just backing off. Upgrades are being performed. We have +2 armor for the Zerg, but +1/+1 for the Marines, and +1 melee has been done for the Zerg. And what that means is that the Zerg is just going to be, or all the Zerg units, the ground units, are going to have like a +1 carapace. I think that affects, I don't know if that affects, but please, I'm going to have to look that up. But basically they just take like -1 damage. You can see it like doing 6 damage every fire or every shot. God, man, marauders just like handled that no problem. There's a lot of Marines here. 132 to 99 army supply. 66 to 67 workers. Like, just that neck and neck is just crazy to me just to see that. This is going to do a lot of damage here, especially since I mean, Zerglings, if they have hive, yeah, so that extra attack bonus might have been done. What it does is it increases the Zergling attack speed by like 40%. So they can definitely, they go from doing a good amount of damage to doing a lot of damage real quick. And we are definitely seeing that, but they are going to get cleaned up here pretty well by these Marines and Marauders. There's a lot of Marines and Marauders, but this is, I mean, like, bravo on the Zerg part. Like, how many SCVs went down there? 20 SCVs so far. Zerg is not trading well, so like Zerg definitely does need to mine more than the Terran in order to keep up with this. Not by much. I mean, like 7,000, 8,000 resources lost, or minerals lost. That is not too bad. Like, that difference just isn't too catastrophic. I've seen a lot of games where, look at that, just rebuild that army. Here we have Ultralisks. Ultralisks are definitely not something you ever really want to fight. I'd never want to fight them. Their mouths are the size of a human. In this game, though, it's a little bit different. But this is definitely a terrifying looking force. 147 to 100 army supply, all melee. That's the kind of problem we have here with this massive force, because all these Marines here, even because they're ranged, people in the back are able to shoot basically in between their friends, so like they can all engage in a fight, versus this melee force that they have to run up to the enemy, and then after like running up to the enemy and taking hits, then they have to attack. And if you're not in melee range, you really just don't have that advantage. There is a what is it? one of the units has this ability to actually like put up a smoke cloud, and what it does is it makes all units underneath a smoke cloud attack in melee range. This is a really good run by here. Zergling's just ripping apart the Terran infrastructure. 13 workers to 66. I didn't even notice this. That, ooh boy. GG is called. Oof. Boy, yeah. Recovering from 12 workers to 66 isn't necessarily something you want to do, especially if you don't have the bases to actually support that. You only have 3. With 3 command centers, you are going to be pumping out SCVs like crazy in order to catch back up. And with Zerg having basically an untouched economy, that is definitely not what you want. That fight, though, Marines did this bio ball of the Marines. I'm going to go back just a little bit so we can like watch this fight a little bit better engagement. But most of the Zerg are on the other side of the map, just doing lots and lots of damage. So I'm going to back up just a little bit more, and we're going to take the perspective of the Terran player trying to deal, and we're going to go at the speed that the game does play. So this is the perspective of the Terran player trying to deal with this mess here that he's about to handle. You can look at the mini-map. So far everything's fine, but now he sees, like, okay, he sees what the problem is here. We have a lot of Banglings, Zerglings, and Ultralisks trying to knock out those creep termers as much as possible. And he sees this. I guess he's like, yeah, I'm done. Yep. That was game. Seeing that. All these guys here, like, none of them are at high health. All these at medevacs are, like, working overtime. If we go back. Yeah, just look at this. Okay, am I watching the camera here? There we go. Okay, we're gonna watch the camera. You can like watch the map here, but we're gonna watch this process of just handling this massive army here for the Zerg player. Just really building up these forces, still trying to recover from the military side of things. Now the Terran 147 to 100 army supply, so the Terran actually technically has a larger and possibly more capable, yeah, they do actually, fighting force than the Zerg. So, yeah. Zerg is kind of freaking out right now. Just doing as much damage as he can in the back to try to keep the Terran away. And he probably doesn't feel like he can attack this. Just goes in like that, and then GG is called. Actually, those Ultralisks were doing quite a bit of damage. That was really rough. Do these guys have there is this like bonus to armor that further reduces, like, these guys not only they get the plus, what is it at, +2 armor to carapace, but they also get like a +2 or +3 with this little thing here. And Marines, they only do 6 damage, 7-8 damage with this. I don't think they get a bonus to anything. Marauders, I think, get a bonus to, I'm gonna have to look that up. But basically the way the +1 upgrades work in the melee or things like that, specialized units get an additional bonus to damage towards what they're really good at. So this was a really good fight. Just a good game overall, especially for the Zerg player. The Terran did a pretty good job trying to set up their forces, but didn't really expand as fast as the Zerg, even though they had a superior force on multiple engagements and pushed the Zerg out of, especially this down here, to try to affect the economy. Zerg did a fantastic job just constantly managing and expanding and recovering from that fight. I feel like there were a few close calls, especially right here with the attack against the Queens, that was kind of neck and neck. Could have gone either way, more or less, for one side or another, but Terran wasn't able to really maximize on that, and the Zerg was able to really just recover from that. Oh, I think that's about everything. Yeah. Do a fast run, fast watch here. I'm not used to seeing Zerglings played like this. That was really interesting to have, actually. The Zerglings stay at your enemy base and just keep your opponent occupied. That was and hey, that's a really good thing to do, because if you can keep your opponent occupied at their base, that means they're going to stay at their base. Yeah, here's that attack. That 39 army supply to 22. Terran did have the army supply advantage, but a lot of back and forth here, not a lot of room to maneuver, and a lot of that damage is going against this, what? Okay. A lot of the attack was actually going against this Bangling Nest, which really helped out the Zerg to be able to fight this. A couple of queens did go down here. What do we got? 4 queens going down is not something to sneeze at. Loss-wise, yeah, Terran really pulled out ahead here, actually. Probably could have recovered the Valkyrie or the Viking and just left, and just called it a day. That was definitely a victory for the Terran player. Got a lot of really good fights, actually. That was not, as a Terran, that did not help the Terran player at all. Good scouting by the Zerg. Really, like, just keeping the Terran at their base as much as possible and letting the Terran know that if they leave their base open, and to be paranoid, like, if they leave their base open, the Zerglings are going to come in here. I haven't seen a lot of this kind of Valkyrie or Viking play, so this is really fascinating to me to be able to see this. Very good scouting, good like diagonals here, looking for potential targets, really getting that good information, which is what you need. Losing a Viking for free is not what you want, but hey. Yeah, we have this other Viking over here too that's kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, I'm really not used to seeing this. This is a very unusual game for me to actually like see. So that's why I'm like watching it a second time, and you can just join me on this journey here. See if I missed anything. We do have missile turrets that are coming up for the Terran player, but that never comes into play. Like, and hey, if you can get your opponent to spend money on things they don't need, like missile turrets, that's less money that's going to go against you. Yeah, there's that, and here's that that supply. Terran is ahead, 62 to 47. They have a larger army. They have and a more expensive force. Yeah, just in every metric, this army is better than the Zerg here. So it's kind of crazy to actually see Zerg win this fight, or win this matchup. Zerg is definitely ahead here in the economy side, so they can afford those losses as long as they keep that lead going. Okay, here's that attack with the queens. No run by was denied, it looks like. Really good scouting too by everybody. I mean, like, we have Widow Mines here, we have the Zerglings kind of on patrol. God, this is just really good. It's just really good gameplay. I mean, these are master players, so this is just, of course, it's going to be good gameplay. A lot of times when I'm playing this game, I'm like just slothing through, trying to remember just like manage my workers and what buildings do I need to build next, or what tactics should I be employing here? How do I counter this force? So, units getting topped off. More medivacs is definitely probably needed for this force here. With this bio army, like, I feel like if Terran had more medivacs, that might have like really swayed it into their favor. 107 army supply to 58. It's actually a little surprising. This is surprising. Like, all the metrics here favor the Terran, and I mean, aside from bases, Zerg just had, I mean, this is 5 bases against, well, 3. And the Terran just traded better overall. So it's really, God, this is really surprising that they lost. We do have a run by going. As the Terran is messing with this here, the Zerg is making sure again to keep the Terran army honest, keep the Terran player focused at home. Like you can't, don't let them relax and just attack. Always be doing something against them. Boy, close call there too. Had those units not been there, that would have been a really ugly loss. This reminds me of Starship Troopers. I don't know why. I get that. Just how they kind of paraded through there and just like had just spread out appropriately. That was just really solid microing. A lot of Zerglings coming in here for the run by. And this is okay. We are at the 12-minute mark. Yeah, this is close to the end here, and so I'm guessing that upgrade has been completed, and this is where you see the Zergling damage just really take off with that 40% bonus to damage. And so now, and because of that attack, Terran have to go home and deal with this. So instead of being attacked, Zerg was able to attack with a smaller army, by the way, 129 to 98 army supply. And then they run away. That's really just being obnoxious. This is just as obnoxious as possible. And just like playing around here. This is fantastic. I mean, like, and there's Zerg in the main base, and so this guy's like trying to divert his forces to take care of it. Zerglings are just all over the place, knocking out as many workers as possible. And even with this, Terran is like, both sides are staying pretty well topped off, and now this, right? God, this is just a really good game. And then we have like 2 more expansions going on. I don't even know if Terran is even aware of this, but yeah, definitely needed more medivacs for sure. I mean, you definitely don't want to be fighting with half your forces like in the red. I mean, this is not what you want. And again, here's this run by. This is just preparatory run by to really mess with the Terran. God, and it's surprising. 147 army supply to like 68. And look, we got the army value right there. But yeah, every single metric aside from the workers is supporting the Terran. Terran even have like 2 too. Like this is set, like they are neck and neck. And yet, Zerg just knocks it out of the park in this fight. There's like nothing here. It's like the Terran base feels like a ghost town, and this feels like it's just hanging on by a thread. That's just incredible. What a good match. Look at this. Just appreciate this for a second. I don't get to see Zerg like play like this, so I'm just really just enjoying this as much as I can. And this, I mean, yeah, and we saw his perspective. Like, everything is getting attacked. Nothing he has is working. And even with this, he's still technically ahead in army supply, even though he's pretty much going to lose all this here in a second. He's running out of gas too. Like, he doesn't have the resources to be able to even just build back, much less build a military fighting force. And we do have a lot of marauders coming out to try to counter those ultralists for sure. But what a fight. What a great game. GG, guys.